You simply flooded the system with money.
Yes, we did.
Where does it come from? Do you just print it?
We print it digitally.
GM, and welcome back to the channel. We've just had a hot CPI print. So what does that mean for the markets? Let's check it out and find out what the alpha is here, up, down, or sideways. If you enjoyed this one, make sure you do subscribe to the channel and we'll jump on in. So Bitcoin here has just reacted to a slightly warmer CPI print, but as you can see, it was pushed down and then we have this wick back up. So this is actually a very bullish candle at the moment. Obviously hasn't yet closed, but it would signify bears try to push us down, but buyers have stepped in here. 68.4K. We did wick into the 67-ish region there. So overall, the structure of the market here, if we just put some TA lines on, we got the kind of top of the range there at around 72s and change. And then if we just put another trend line on here, you can kind of see generally we've been putting in this kind of pennant formation. Higher lows is what this suggests. So even if we do get maybe some moves towards the downside here, fill this space out, that takes us into this part here around the 20th of April, which is the halving. And I do think we'll have a bullish halving event. As from looking at the data and the signs in the market right now, we're seeing things like Hong Kong will have their own ETF up and running in the not too distant future. That will be some big additional demand for Bitcoin. Gold is breaking out. So the halving of BTC, whilst gold is already in price discovery, I think is a story that writes itself. And the fact is there's not enough Bitcoin to go around post-halving, that issuance being cut from 900 to 450 Bitcoins per day. So although the news today was slightly bearish, as you can see on screen here. So these were the numbers that came in just above my head. The forecast for core CPI was 0.3%. It comes in at 0.4. Not obviously a huge margin of error. And for the CPI month over month, 0.3 forecast coming in at 0.4. And then the CPI year over year. So previous month, it was 3.2%. They forecasted it coming in a little bit hotter at 3.4, but it actually came in at 3.5% here today. So the kind of thoughts are now, what does the Fed do? This is the next FOMC meeting around the 1st of May, so the start of next month. And people were banking on the fact there may be a cut coming, but this now may be put off a little bit later into the calendar year. So Fejau posted this: if the bear case is that things stay as they are and we don't cut because of a hot inflation print, and stonks, the stock market has been mostly up only during this regime, why would continuation of that regime be bearish? Which is a good point to make. We've been going up here in the face of, some sticky inflation, also high interest rates, but the stock market seemingly doesn't really care. Maybe the kind of high interest rate environment is actually bullish for those with a lot of capital. That's my kind of thought behind it. It's almost like a stimulus check for those who have got tons of US Treasury bills. And Fejau ends up here saying, look, if you say the market went up because it was pricing in the cuts, I don't even know what to say, but that was a tiny component of the price action. So we're in an environment now where the denominator, the USD, is weakening, and everyone can see that who has half a brain cell. As mentioned, gold already broken out. I don't think it's too long before Bitcoin is really chatting its way up there as well. If we just look at the Fed Watch tool here, as you can see, this is the current state of play, 525 to 550 basis points, the current US interest rate from the Fed. Now for this 1st of May meeting, it's a 94% certainty it will stay the same. So this was, I think, maybe closer to a 50-50 previously, but now that's coming at 94%. If you go to June, 79% chance of that remaining as is as well. So no real cuts being priced in till a lot later in the year. That is the September data there. You can see with a reduction at 45%, the most likely outcome. So a cut being priced into the markets 18th of September 2024. Then meanwhile, we have chief economics expert Jeo Boden. He says he's got a plan to lower costs. I'm calling on corporations, including grocery retailers, to use record profits to reduce prices. Yes, you heard that right. Those are the plans from Mr. Jeo Boden. We have ticker Boden here over on Solana. Here is the logo. I honestly feel that this is such a good meme for this year, with the very obvious election coming up this year in November. As long as Joe is running, I feel like Boden here is going to just continue on an absolute tear. And you can see from the price chart there that every time there's a dip, it's just getting slurped up, as this thing will have serious mindshare as long as he does 100% run. They haven't talked about pulling him at this moment in time. The guy is 81 years of age, however, so, you know, it wouldn't be too much of a surprise if he were to get pulled for some reason or other, maybe health related. But if he does run, I think this meme coin is an absolute shoo-in to go absolutely mad, as the funniest outcome is the most likely, and my degens will keep on bidding this thing. This is one of the meme coins I'm quite heavy into at this moment in time. And we're also seeing this come out from today's CPI statement. So core CPI plus 0.36% month over month. The big driver, says Warren Pies, of the hotter than expected number is once again motor vehicle insurance. Car insurance and shelter equals 70% of core service inflation. So maybe that is one of the reasons why we're seeing this kind of rebound here. The markets haven't rolled over. The fact that once you look into the details of what has caused this inflation, there's big factors from just one area, with car insurance, of course, making up a huge proportion of that. And the fact car insurance is up like 20% year over year. I think there's been a lot of car thefts actually contributing majorly to that. That is kind of a global phenomenon, I think, with people doing worse off. A lot of crime is occurring. So maybe when you look into the figures, the CPI isn't all that bad. And I mean, 0.1% isn't exactly a huge overshoot. And additionally to that, if you are investing in, say, the crypto markets, you're not really too worried about inflation. You're more concerned about having your own sovereignty, owning scarce assets like BTC, you know, all the reasons why we entered here in the first place. So the fact there was this kind of jittery at the start of this session and people selling their on-chain gems due to the fact inflation came in at 0.1% higher than expected, it is really quite laughable in my mind. So this from Web3 Quant. So everyone's getting too bearish too late. Dip, yes. We had several in 2017 and 2021. Has the bigger picture changed though? No. And literally, crypto is the most cyclical of assets in the world. He says back in 2021, at the end, the Fed literally kept telling us they will raise rates, and everyone kept saying and writing theses around how that was impossible. So we fought the Fed, we lost. Now they are saying that they will cut, and most are still arguing against it. Play level to level, but don't miss the forest for the trees. So don't fight the Fed. So a quick glance across the markets here on CoinGecko. You can see standout winners. We have the likes of Athena, Nervous Network, Ordinals, Beam, Ton, Phantom. Phantom keeps popping up in here. Quite interested in the Phantom ecosystem as a rebound play for this cycle, an ecosystem that was decimated last time. Losers, Aptos Gala, Wormhole, Dog with Hats. Now, in terms of being bullish crypto and why you need to be here in the bear markets, if you just look at the equalizer chart here, pretty incredible. This is on the market cap. So this is showing you the market cap of said asset, roughly around 5 mil market cap at this moment in time. But the multiples you can get are ridiculous, especially if you do buy the fear and the FUD. Obviously, the multi-chain exploit occurred for Phantom, which rendered a load of their assets useless. This has obviously since been worked upon. There is the Sonic upgrade coming for Phantom. People last cycle aped into Phantom massively. I think the behavior of crypto participants is quite samey. People do the same shit every single cycle. The areas where we have winners previously likely to have winners again because there's kind of that muscle memory. But just look at the possibilities here. 200k market cap. So even sub 1 mil here, now you're up 5x in the space of like 6 weeks. You buy back here, where it's like 150, 200k, you're sitting on huge multiples before this ecosystem's really had its run up. Now, Equalizer is a DEX, but is a solidly DEX or solidly forked DEX. So VE33 mechanics with these bribe elements. And if you just come into here and inspect this, the bribes, the vote rentals, 128k, that pool, 90k, 34k, 24k, huge amounts of bribes being spread through here. So this looks really intriguing to me, as it is still relatively low market cap. And if you do lock your equal token into VE equal, obviously do a bit of research around this, there could be some really good bribes on hand here as this market over on Phantom continues to develop. So clearly interest from others to get liquidity to their pools by doing bribes via Equalizer here. So super interesting. This one now on my radar. Now, who wants to see something rather freaking funny? So you may have seen the Costco hot dogs, the Costco 150 hot dog, and its meme coin on Sol. They kind of sponsored or had some partnership with Crown, aka Photo Finish. And you can see from this that they had the hot dog steaks, the $1.50 or $1.50 hot dog steaks. And rather than horses running, we had hot dogs running the race. So absolutely epic stuff. 10 out of 10 for the memetics on this one. So just to pull up the Crown chart as well, piggybacking off that, that is one bullish chart. I think from what I've seen, like people who get into this game get into it in a serious way. So kind of that Axie Infinity vibe of, you know, dedicated players putting in huge amounts of time. The horses are racing every day, so people are spending literally at least a proportion of time each day playing this game. And the stickiness for this thing is just incredible. So market cap's just $200 million. I expect once we see a full gaming run, this thing will absolutely send at some point. And of course, obviously I'm a bit biased, bags are packed, but I think this is one of the better plays in the gaming sector. And when they pull off stunts like that with the hot dog race, just makes me even more bullish. Now let's wrap things up with the Hopium for today. Issues with Solana, yes. I've not had any actual issues trading in and out of coins though. It has just been trying to transfer coins. I've had my issues with the kind of failed transactions or dropped transactions, either of the two. So this is from Mert saying, look, there will be a fair chunk of patches coming through in Solana 1.18. Everyone's asking for an ETA, and he's saying April 15th. So April 15th, just 5 days away for a patch, and potentially going to make this network a lot better. Sol, it's like 168, 167 or something right now. So obviously running back towards range lows as the network isn't working as intended. Clear degradation of the chain at this moment in time, but fix on the way, April 15th. So fingers crossed, everything goes smoothly for that. But that is the end of today's episode. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one. Subscribe if you're new. Peace.